Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing my comic pull list for the week. Now, it's a fourth week of the month, and with that, we have a lot of comics. Not fourth, yeah, fourth week of the month. February is a pretty quick month, 28 days, so time just flies. So with that said, I'm also going to try to incorporate questions and answers at the end of this video. So uh, we'll go into that. And if you have a question, post it in this video. I'll go into it a bit more detail once I'm done with my reviews. So we might as well start where we always start, with a little bit of Batman in our life, with Batman Incorporated, issue number 8. Now, this is going to be the only issue of the week that I'm going to spoil anything, but I'm pretty sure most people already know what the big deal of this issue is. I'm sure by looking at the cover, you pretty much already know. So if you don't like spoilers, skip ahead a couple of minutes. If you're okay with that, let's talk. So this issue, Damian dies. Yes. Damian Robin dies. Basically, what happens is all hell is breaking loose. Talia sending the Leviathan horde on Batman Inc., and Robin shows up and he fights his genetic clone brother. I don't know how that works. Are they clones? Are they brothers? Are they whatever? And big fight ensues, and Damian takes a big giant sword to the chest. Thus, the death of Damian. Now, whether or not this is actually the death of Damian, I'm not 100% sure. DC is basically saying Damian's dead. But here's the thing. Why does DC reveal that they're going to kill Damian off like a week before they actually do it? Seems a little fishy with me. Plus, if Barry Allen, Bucky, and Jason Todd can all come back from the dead, who's to say Damian can't? But we're not talking on whether or not Damian is going to come back to life or if he's not going to come back to life. We're just talking about the actual death and how I feel about it, and maybe you guys can tell me how you feel about it. But I'll get to that more or less once we get to good, bad, whether or not you should get it. So yeah, basically what happens is Robin flies in, tries to save the day, stop the Leviathans from causing trouble and blowing up Gotham, and in the process, dies. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, there's some touching moments in this, especially when Bruce finds Damian and after Talia gives the order to kill her own son. And my favorite moment is when Dick and Damian are interacting with each other, and Damian kind of just says, you know, you were the best partner, Dick. We were unstoppable together. So a nice moment between those two. The final fight scene is very nice, and Damian goes out like a hero. Bad, I don't think this issue delivered too much more other than the fact of Damian dying. There comic books that have the death of a character can be bad comic issues and still be a good comic on a whole, because death of a character is momentous. If you look at the death of Superman, it really wasn't a great story. It was okay, but it was an action-packed story. But it did one thing really well: is it delivered the death of Superman beautifully and so forth. It was a better comic than it actually should have been, because the concept of Doomsday was just handled poorly, but the death of Superman was handled well. So you know, the dialogue in this was okay. I think Damian had definitely some of the best moments. My particular baz with this issue was, for example, Damian stops his brother slash clone slash whatever from getting to the bomb and blowing up shit, and then the fight ensues, and the big fight between the two of them, and basically Damian gets killed. But what stops the clone slash brother from going back to the bomb and blowing things up? Because there's no one to stop him. Dick's unconscious. Damian's dead. Batman's crying. Who's gonna stop him? Um, that, and although the fight was cool between Damian and his clone slash brother, I would have liked it to be more than just one page, because it really was just one page. On a whole, whether or not you should get it, I think this issue was slightly better than it could have been, just for the fact that Damian is dying. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Decent issue. I almost gave it a 4 because it was fun, but it also comes with the fact that Damian dies, and I don't like characters dying. But I'm kind of weird about Damian dying because see the thing is Damian represents something that I don't like, and that's children in comic books. At least children are superheroes. I don't mind like psychic children. That doesn't bother me. But like now Damian is dead, that's gonna hang over Batman forever. And just the thought or concept of someone losing their child is just incredibly depressing. It's hard to come back from something like that. And that's just something I don't want to have in the mindset of a character. I know some people will be like, well, this is good for story opportunities, but I don't feel as though it will so much because we've had a death of a Robin, and when Robin dies, it doesn't matter who, it's pretty much like a child to Bruce. I guess you could say Bruce hasn't had enough time with Damian for them to really, truly establish a real tight relationship, but still, the fact is having Damian die, it's kind of sad because I like Damien. He grew on me. Damien was, I thought, at first a bad idea that was handled well. I don't think the character should have been introduced. I don't think the character really was necessary. We were comfortable with Tim. But on a whole, Damien was handled very well and he grew on me and he became a great character. I don't think Damien's going to stay dead. If he does, and I'm wrong, which is absolutely possible because it happens, then he died, and I'm sad to see him go. But hey, shit happens. Long as Batman doesn't kill him, happy. And that's like the only non-reversible thing in comic books. That's my golden rule. If Batman doesn't kill, I'm okay with most stuff that happens in comics. Most things. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. I spent a little too much time talking about this issue, like 6 minutes. Let's move on, shall we? By the way, I'm going to do my next what I am thinking on who I think should be the next Robin. Interesting. What's your thoughts on that? Please let me know. Batman: The Dark Knight, issue number 17. So basically, the Mad Hatter is. We're getting a bit of a backstory on him, where he comes from, kind of his child history, how he ties into the little Mad Hatter theme, the Alice in Wonderland theme. And while this is going on, he's collecting more and more people to have his tea party with. So yeah, that's basically the issue. Batman kind of hunts him down in a way, but doesn't. But in a way, does. He kind of throws Batman for a loop. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art in this is great. There was some funny moments in this. Some good Batman moments. And I do like the Mad Hatter. I think he's coming off as kind of a good, intimidating villain that's kind of crazy, but in a different crazy than Joker is. He's literally mad. Joker's crazy, but he's not mad. Mad Hatter is mad. There's a difference. Um, Bad is I felt as though any momentum this issue had kind of just fizzled away towards the end. I didn't like how the end ended. If this was the last issue of a story arc, I thought the end would have been nice, but it's not. And there was, I felt as though the pacing was a bit off on this. Just a bit off. It felt like it was fast paced and slowed down, then fast paced and slowed down. On a whole, it was a decent issue. Not as good as the last one, but I'm still eager to see where the story goes. 3 out of 5. Moving on to Talon, issue number, what are we, 5 now? 5, wow. So basically, Talon, Calvin Rose, is going to be trying to get into what is the Impenetrable Fortress. And it is the fortress created by, what's her name? Supporting cast. I'm still learning the cast of characters. The girl that he rescued. This is bad, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. The girl that he rescued. Basically, his friend, her father, created an impenetrable fortress to keep the Court of Owls out. So he wants to go in there and try to see if he can actually penetrate the impenetrable fortress. Of course, while this is going on, the Butcher of Gotham is tracking him, and boy, is the Butcher of Gotham a patient piece of shit. I guess when you're immortal, it doesn't really much matter. Will Calvin be able to penetrate this impenetrable fortress, or will there be something waiting for him there? And while this is going on, somebody's watching him. Somebody with a bat on his chest. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Art is fantastic as always. I talked about pacing in the last issue. The pacing was great in this. I really do like the character interactions with everyone. And the Butcher of Gotham is turning out to be a really good villain. I like the fact that we're kind of fleshing out the character a bit, getting more of him without actually having him to constantly interact with Calvin. Batman showing up in this was nice, and I thought it left on a beautiful, good cliffhanger. Bad, can't say there's much bad about this. I would have liked a little bit more action, a little bit more of infiltratingness to it. But besides that, it was a great issue. 5 out of 5. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Talon is a consistently good issue, not issue series. Pick it up. Moving on to I Vampire issue number 17. How should we say? Shit just got real. Shit just got real. With only 2 issues left in the series, um, yeah, shit just got real. Basically, it is the vampires, led by Andrew Bennett, versus basically Constantine and the supporting cast, Mary Queen of Blood, Deborah Dancer, so on and so forth, fighting in the House of Mystery. And boy, uh, people do not make it out at all. There's going to be deaths. The key word is plural. There's going to be, like I said, shit gets real. Shit gets real. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Although we do not have the same artist that we had beforehand because he jumped on the Green Arrow, I hear he's going to be jumping back on the book at the end. The art was really great in this. The tension felt very high. Shocker of a death. Shocker of a death. And you're going to say, ooh, I bet it's Andrew Bennett. You're going to throw it. It's not Andrew Bennett, but someone dies. And it is shocker. Especially how they died, under what circumstance they died, and what was going to happen before they died. But yeah, tension runs high. Bad zilch. I Vampire, for a series that everyone thought was going to be Twilight for DC Comics, has proven vampires are still cool. If you handle them right, they're still cool. I Vampire is a great series. It's a damn shame it's getting canceled. And if you didn't pick this series up, I think you're doing yourself a disservice to it. Pick it up and trade. 5 out of 5. I Vampire, really good this week, really good. And if shit got that real in that issue, just imagine what's going to happen in later issues. Issue 18 and 19. Can't wait. It's exciting. I'm really pumped. Justice League Dark, issue number 17. So we're still in that science world, and basically the Justice League Dark are trying to escape from their science cells, holding cells. What would you call it? DBZ cells. Imagine if Dragon Ball Z cell showed up and fought the Justice League Dark. Who would win? Cell or the Justice League Dark? I don't know. That's a question I'll pose too. Will the Justice League Dark, with all their magic and capabilities, be able to face Cell? I'm talking about Perfect Cell, not like freaking imperfect Cell, all that shit. That's a good question for you guys. But yeah, the Justice League Dark want to escape, and with Madame Xandu about to die, how are they going to save themselves? Plus, she has a premonition that Constantine is going to kill off one of the Justice League Dark members, and one of them will stay behind. While this is going on, Zatanna and Timothy Hunter rally their army of mystical sprites, elves, woodland creature, nymphs, and everything else that could be from the D&D Monster Manual 1 through 3 and the Fiends of Fallow, and decide to attack the scientific society. Who will come out on top? Just gonna have to wait and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Boy, talk about tension. This has some tension in it too, especially with Madame Xandu going to croak. Um, the art was good in this. I do like the fact that although there's not much fighting in this, you have that tension to it. And Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. I'm so glad Frankenstein is in this book because he is just great. Bad, I felt as though some of the characters were underutilized. For example, Black Orchid really doesn't do too much in this. I don't feel as though Zatanna does too much in this. I mean, she talks, but she doesn't really do too much. But yeah, on a whole, this was a good issue. I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next issue because I think that's when shit hit the fan. Next is Injustice: Gods Among Us, issue number 2. So if you haven't read issue number 1, warning, I'm going to spoil some shit. So Superman was tricked by the Joker to kill Lois Lane and blow up Metropolis. And Superman is not happy because in this continuity, apparently Lois can get pregnant. So not only did Superman kill his wife by mistake, he killed his unborn child and he blew up Metropolis. Superman is pissed. Who's he pissed at? Joker. So Superman does some really dangerously deep shit, which I will spoil in this, so be prepared. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. The art in this, really good, except for Green Lantern without his ring, looked kind of like Kyle. But art in this is really good. The panel layout was perfect to kind of show some moments, especially when Superman does something that is very un-Superman-ish. Uh, Joker in this, just his dialogue was really good. I'll take a piece out of it. I'm gonna read a part. Let me see if I can get it. I don't know exactly where it is. But basically, he says Batman's like, it's always been between us. Why did you get Superman involved? And he goes, oh, bats. You don't get it. Every time I go up against you, you always beat me. This time I decided to do something on the easy mode, and it was so easy, like beating a puppy with a dead cat. And it was just creepy how the Joker delivers it. Joker was fantastic in this, and Superman does something that someone should have done a long time ago. Another good is Harley Quinn and Green Arrow interacting with each other is hilarious. They should just make a comic called Green Arrow and Harley Quinn. Da-da-da! Bad zilch. For a licensed comic, even though these are the DC characters, the comic based off of a video game is really, really great. 5 out of 5. This kind of rocked my socks. This comic is really good. Get it. Next is Red Lanterns, issue number 17. Wrath of the First Lantern, part 3? 4? Part 4. Yeah. If you're looking for much of the First Lantern, he doesn't show too much up in this, except for at the end. It's not like Green Lantern Corps or Green Lantern New Guardians, where Atrocitus gets his life shown to him by the First Lantern. No, basically, Atrocitus is looking for I forget what it's called, but the heart of something. It's where the Guardians put all their emotion, because the Guardians actually strip themselves of their emotion. It's called, I'll tell you right now, the Great Heart. That's what they call it, the Great Heart. Basically, that's where the Guardians stored all their emotion, which makes me think Atrocitus is going to break it and break the spell on the Guardians or whatever. But when showing up there, the First Lantern shows up, and basically it's Atrocitus versus the First Lantern. Who's going to come out on top? Atrocitus is with his Manhunters or the First Lantern? Well, I mean, it is the First Lantern, so yeah. Uh, Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. I thought Atrocitus he's a fun character. The guy is so overly dramatic with everything, and I love it. I liked Rancor in this. I kind of like the side story that's doing with him, and I particularly like the concept of this heart, this orb where the emotions of the Guardians are, and what it could mean if Atrocitus breaks it. Bad, yeah, Atrocitus using the Manhunters to attack Oa, and it's I can kind of see why he's doing it, but I think he's wasting time doing it. Uh, that and Belize is barely used in this issue. Enough to make Belize be Belize, but still, on the whole, Red Lanterns was decent this week. I think it underutilized the first Lantern, but what I did like is it added to the story. I just hope Atrocitus, dealing with the heart of the Guardians, continues in the first Lantern story. I know a lot of people may not like Red Lanterns, but I do enjoy it. I'll give this a 3 out of 5. On to Teen Titans issue number 17. By the way, see that picture right there, the woman? That is Raven. That's Raven's costume in the New 52, at least evil Raven, to say the least. So this is kind of, oh, shit just got real, or, a lot of crap happened in the previous issue with the Joker. Let's take some time to rest and relax. And this is basically the Titans getting their shit back together. And they got a new location, and basically everyone's there except for Superboy. We got a new artist on this, and the art is really nice in this. And we got some twists going on with Damien, no, Tim, with him and two of the Titan members. At first, I was kind of like, oh, when it happened with the first one, but once the second one came along and Dick started doing what he did, I was like, okay, Raven's got to be pulling some strings here. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I enjoy the new artist. I do like the take that the Titans are going with their new location. I like how this was kind of the Titans just sitting down and talking with each other. One thing about the Titans book is it can be a very character-driven book. They don't always have to be out there saving the world. New Teen Titans, not George Perez, Jeff Johns Titans. Sometimes they just chilled and hang out, and sometimes that's fun, especially with a teen book, and I did like that about this. I think the twist with Tim is going to be good, and I like the fact that Raven's being incorporated in the DCU. And I even kind of like Raven's evil costume. It's dramatically different from her other costume, but it's cool looking. It's not Raven, but it's cool looking. Bad. Uh, I can't really say there's any bad. I thought Bunker had a really good line in this, and I want to see where it is. Um, Basically, he said something like, "No one gets to live in yesterday, and God was smart enough never to let us see tomorrow. All we have in this moment, in this life, is the moment. Good night, amigo." Something along that line. Very nice dialogue in this. Yeah, on a whole, Titans this week was nice. It felt like Titans, and I think that's the important thing. It felt like Teen Titans. I'm gonna go with a 4.5 out of 5. It wasn't perfect, but I did enjoy this a lot. So yeah, Titans. Go Teen Titans. Moving on, Jonah Hex, All-Star Western issue number 17. So basically, a plague comes to Gotham. And who brings this plague? None other than Vandal Savage. Yes, people, we get Western Vandal Savage. And he is outrageous. Basically, Vandal Savage comes to town. And Vandal Savage, being immortal and can't die, is carrying all these sorts of diseases, and they just come to Gotham, and boy, does shit hit the fan. Especially when a Wayne member is taken hostage, and Jonah Hex has to be hired to bring them back. We also get the backup issue, and I haven't talked about the backup issues in Stonewatch that much, not Stonewatch, All-Star Western that much because they've been okay. This is basically Stonewatch of the 19th century, the Western Stonewatch. It has a very steampunkish feel to it. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Jonah Hex, as always, is a fun character in this. Him and Arkham just bickering with each other is great. The concept of the story is very nice. I like the implication of Vandal Savage in the story. I like the fact he's thrown in there. I think he's handled very well. Vandal Savage, I like his new 52 take on him. So, again, handled very well in this. The art was great as always, great art, and the backup story felt really good. I did like the Stormwatch, the steampunk Stormwatch. It almost felt like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, kind of in a way. So I want to see how that continues. Bad, 0. Also, well, maybe the dialogue was a little heavy in the beginning, but I'm not going to take points off of that because everything else makes up for it. 5 out of 5, All-Star Western. Pick this shit up, people. Pick this shit up. Star Trek: The Next Generation, Hive, issue 4 of 4. If you guys don't know, I'm a big Star Trek fan. TNG is my favorite series. And I've been picking up the series and kind of reviewing it whenever I get a chance. Basically, this is a conclusion. Jean-Luc Picard and 7 and 9 have to work together with future assimilated Borg data to take out the Borg Queen. And their plan will cost one of them their lives. So who will it be? No one comes out of this story unscathed. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The story itself is a good idea for a story. It had kind of a TNG feel in this, especially when they're debating on whether or not they should kill the Borg. One of them's like, "We better do it. It's the Borg," and other people are like, "But that's mass genocide." And then other people are like, "Yeah, but if we let them live, it's mass genocide either way. At least we get to live." And so there's a nice bickering back and forth with everyone, which kind of makes it feel kind of like Next Gen when they would all sit in the conference room and talk with each other. Uh, Emotions were real, and the death was sad at the end. Bad. My main problem with this series is I felt as though so much story was being crammed into 4 issues. This should have been a 6 issue series minimum, to kind of spread things out and really build stuff up. That and I think killing off this particular character was a bad idea. Is this a canon continuation of Star Trek? I don't think so. It could be, but I'm leaning more towards no, because unlike Star Wars, Star Trek does not have a canon expanded universe or a beta universe or whatever you want to call it. Not with the pocket novels, not with the comics, nothing. Um, for no, it could be considered canon. If it is considered canon, I think you're killing off a character way too early into an expanded universe. Whether or not you should get it, if you're a Star Trek fan and only a hardcore Star Trek fan, yes, but only in those conditions. 2.5 out of 5. Angel and Faith, issue number 18? 19. Wow. Shit. Basically, is Angel, Faith, Spike, bunch of players versus Demon Dude that has the soul of Giles. Will they be able to get the soul of Giles back in order to bring back Giles? Wait and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Angel interacting with Spike is always fun as always, and Spike interacting with Faith is always fun too. Um, I do like where this story is going with the whole Giles and Resurrection thing. Where this comic, at the beginning of the comic, issue number 1, I said they're not going to bring Giles back. Issue number 19, now I'm saying, shit, I think they might bring Giles back, which would be great. Great art, great dialogue, great tension. 5 out of 5. The Buffy universe kind of sucks right now. I can't comment on Willow's comic because I have all the issues over there. I just haven't read them yet. But I mean, this is the only series thus far that I've been enjoying of Buffy since, oh god, like 2 years ago, since season 8. So, Angel and Faith definitely worth picking up. 5 out of 5. Fury of Firestorm, then, and we're getting close to the end, so we will go into question and answers. Fury of Firestorm, issue number 17. Teaming up with the Teen Titans, or versus the Teen Titans, alone against the Teen Titans. They're not gonna fight. They're gonna fight. They're gonna bicker. They're gonna be a misunderstanding. They're gonna hug and kiss and make up. That's basically how this shit goes. I've been reading Fury of Firestorm on the side. Am I upset it's getting canceled? Yeah, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, I can kind of see it going. How that could happen. Basically, the gist of this issue is Titans want to meet up with Storm to kind of see if Nowhere is after him because he is underage. He is younger than 18, or they are. Let's just talk about Firestorm as one person right now. Of course, as a misunderstanding ensues in the Titans versus Firestorm. Who comes out on top, though, is the question. Are the Titans able to take him out, or does Firestorm prove that he's more than Teen Titan material? He's JLA material. Or JL. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like the art. The art is Dan Jurgens. Is it Dan Jurgens? Yeah, it's Dan Jurgens, and it has kind of almost a '90s feel to it. With Jurgens was artist on, so I do like the art in this. The dialogue was good, and cliffhanger of an ending. Bad is just so status quo. You can kind of see how the story gets plotted out throughout the whole entire thing. Again, like I said, they meet up, misunderstanding, fight ensues. Eventually, they go, "Hey, shit, let's not fight each other." Okay, and then they stop fighting each other. So you kind of see where the story is going and how it's going there. On the whole, it was an okay issue, but okay doesn't really get it that far. And as much as I like where Firestorm is right now as a character, as a comic, it is hurting, and I can see why it's getting canceled. 5 out of 5. And Firestorm, I always said, wasn't strong enough to have his own comic. He's more of a team-up character, which is fine. He's joining the Justice League. Um, if you read the solicits, he's going to be in Justice League. 2.5 out of 5. Hawkman, Savage Hawkman, issue number 17, another comic that's getting canceled. Basically, this is the introduction of... Sorry, my contacts, I've had them in so long that they're starting to get dried up. Against the Shadow Thief, and the Shadow Thief is now a chick. It's now a girl. Not a dude anymore, it's now a girl. Which might upset some fans like me, I don't care. Hawkman's Rogue Gallery, as much as I think is cool, is not strong enough to really have this big momentous change really matter. It's probably a good thing that we're changing up Shadow Thief because he really wasn't doing much anyways in terms of a character. Basically, people, Xerxes, is that how you pronounce his name, is trying to sell Thanagarian technology. And apparently Hawkman has a spider sense that is tied into his nth metal whenever technology is being used from Thanagar. Sure. Okay. So he goes off and he tries to take care of this, get the technology back. Most of them are bombs. While this is going on, Shadow Thief is there. So it's Xerxes versus Shadow Thief versus Hawkman. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like how Hawkman is kind of stepping away from his girlfriend because I never really liked her to begin with. I like how he's saying, like, Carter Hall was just a illusion I made for Earth when I had lost my memories. I'm really Qatar Hall. And I like how he's, like, embracing the fact he's Hawkman. Screw my life. I'm gonna just kick ass and take names. And there's not that many names left to take, so I'm just gonna be kicking asses. So I do like that. I kind of interested in the new Shadow Thief. The next issue is gonna be focusing on her backstory, which is good. And the art in this was good. And the story wasn't bad either. Bad, not enough Shadow Thief for an issue that is the introduction of her. Wasn't that much there, but it wasn't bad. Actually, thinking back on that, I kind of like this issue a lot. Um, let's go with a 3.5 out of 5. I know, I know a lot of people don't like Savage Hawkman right now, but the issue was good. The issue was good. We're down to the last two issues. Aquaman, issue number 17. Basically, this is the Throne of the Atlantis epilogue, and we get to see the new status quo of Aquaman. Basically, I now have a nation. I'm going to use my army to beat the shit out of people. Which is a smart. And that's basically it. This is kind of setting a new status quo for Aquaman in his comic, introducing new villains, new storylines, cliffhanger of an ending, and basically how Aquaman approaches Atlantis. I particularly like how there's someone in here that wears Aquaman's costume from the 90s. He's an Atlantean soldier, but he has the exact same pants as Aquaman when he had the hook hand. He has a hook hand, and he has like the gladiator chest. The only difference is his face is messed up, and he has a helmet on. But basically, Jeff Johns is making fun of 90s Aquaman, which was kind of fun. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good transition issue. Setting up the new status quo. Cliffhanger of an ending. Like how Amanda Waller was being used, and the art was really nice in this. Bad, I mean, it's a transition issue. What do you expect? Uh, 4 out of 5. Definitely get it, but like I said, we're switching gears now. We just had this intense story. We need to settle the paper, reset the table, and then go into the next story. Flash, issue number 17, End of Guerrilla Warfare. Basically, in this issue, is Flash versus Grodd and the Speed Force with the whole city at stake. And a Flash villain that everyone wanted to see returns at the very, very end. Who is this Flash villain? Well, I don't want to give anything away. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good is, I think, the fight between Flash and Grodd is really great. The art is great. The character return at the end, really nice, and I do like this new look for the character. I think it's better than what they had before the new 52. I'm just going to take a quick peek at it again. Yeah, it looks pretty badass. And it's something that I think has been building for a while. So I do like that. I'm really like where the rogues are going after this. I really do like the feel of Flash's comic as a whole. It's like Silver Age modernized, and it tastes so good. Um, bad. The only bad I can really think of this, and it really wasn't much of a bad. I don't want to say it's a bad, but I would have liked to see more of an interaction with Iris and Barry. But maybe it's just because I want the two of them to be together. I like Patty. She's a good girl. Patty, you're cool. But I like Iris a little bit better. So yeah, that is the comics this week. I thought FF came out this week, but I didn't see it, so I can't comment on FF. For now on, with my Andrewcutter picks of the weeks, I'm going to do instead of doing one pick of the week, I'm going to do my top 3 picks of the week, just to give you guys a little bit more variety on what I am doing. This is tough this week. Hmm. Yeah, I'll go with this because All Star Wrestling came close to being my top 3. But my top 3, at number 3 is I Vampire. This was a great comic. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Coming in at number 2 is Injustice Gods Among Us. I'm surprised how well this series is going, and I hope it continues going as well as it does. And my Andrewcutter pick of the week goes to Flash, issue number 17. This is one of the best comics of the New 52. If you're not reading it, you're really missing out. You really are. Of the Justice League titles that are out there, again, one of the best. So let me just adjust my eyes for a moment. Gotta take my contacts out after this video. We got some questions and answers to go over. And I will say the people's names, seeing that I'm going to take this right from my previous video. And basically, how we're going to do these question and answers from now on is in my comic load videos, you can ask questions. And for that video, I'm going to take the questions from in the next video. So last week's comic load video, people asked questions. I'll be answering it this week in this video. And then this week's video, what questions you ask, I will answer in the next video, so on and so forth. I will only be taking questions from this type of video, my comic load of the. So, anyways, let's get into it, and then maybe we have time for a few news and updates afterwards. First question comes from Know What 321. What is your favorite DC New 52 trade paperback? Or just, I guess, graphic novel in general? I would have to say Justice League one because it had a solid story. It's the Batman one, I could say that, or the Wonder Woman one, I could say that, but they're longer stories broken up into parts. The Justice League one was a full origin story, and I just loved that origin story. I thought it was really good. Uh, let's see, what's next? From Ben's Comics, hey Andrew, should we read Batman Night of the Owls in a different order than the one from the hardcover? You said it was organized in a weird way, so what should we do? Basically, just read it the way it is. I don't think the order is going to screw you up as much. It's just it's weird how they ordered it up. Like I said, I don't think it'll hurt your experience. It's just I think what they should have done is taken all the side tie-in stories and put them off into a separate trade and had just the Batman stories in the Batman trade. So don't worry about the order of the comics. Read it as it is. Question for your next video from David Lee. What's your thoughts on Jeff Johns taking out his other 2 characters, Aquaman and Hal Jordan, out of the Justice League? Thanks. Love your videos. I don't know if Aquaman's leaving the Justice League. If he is, and Hal, I'm sad. My favorite Justice League team, and I know this is kind of bold to say, but it is the New 52 original Justice League. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, Barry Allen as Flash, Aquaman as Cyborg. I think that's a solid team. Um, but I can see why Jeff Johns is doing it because he kind of wants to build on the Justice League and bring more characters in, and you don't want to have too big of a team. Do I think they'll be going back? Yeah, absolutely. And you also have to think of it this way: Hal is coming back to comics; it's confirmed. Interview with the new writer of Green Lantern says he's focusing on Hal. So Hal is coming back. And I think you're going to need Hal for the big fight between Justice League and Justice League America whenever it happens. I don't know if Aquaman's been confirmed to leave the Justice League. He's in the solicits thus far. But if he is, I'm sure he'll be back. Because Jeff Johns' thing is to make Aquaman A-lister, and you're not going to take someone out of the Justice League that you want to make A-lister. To me, right now, the only two essential Justice League members, if you're going to switch up the team, the only two people I want to say stay permanent is Cyborg, because he needs to be. Cyborg doesn't have his own comic, but he's so perfect for the Justice League, so keep him there. And Batman, because I love Batman. And Batman's like, has to be. So anyways. Okay, let's move on. Uh, Dark, Dark Hellskull says, "Who do you think should join the JLA down the line, and for what reasons?" Uh, Two people that come to mind is Batwoman and Black Canary. Batwoman because of her ties to the government and how she's a little bit more edgier than some of the other Batman family members. And I just think it flows a little bit better with her ties to the government, or the was it DEO or DOA? I forget. Um, it's not DOA. Yeah, it's not. But I think she would be incorporated well. And Black Canary, because like I said, Black Canary in the new 52 is an edgier character. She was part of Team 7. She kills people, not all the time, but she has no problem with doing it if it needs to be done. And I think she would fit better in the JLA with characters that she interacts well with, like Oliver Queen. So those two are two people that I would like to see join the JLA. I'm gonna brew your name, so please excuse me. Sentien, Sentinel, is it Sentinel? 951. Did you pick up the DC Collectibles Darkseid or Green Arrow, and do you have plans to get in them all? I haven't got the Darkseid one, mainly because I can't drop $100 now because I'm trying to get my own place and marriage. But I did get the DC Collectibles New 52 Green Arrow one. I have a review for it. I just haven't posted it up because I'm lazy. So yeah, I did get Green Arrow. And I do plan on getting all the other Justice League ones when they do come out. Katana, Vibe, so on and so forth. Justice League from Blue Lantern of 2814. Justice League was great this week, but it looks like we have a new Atom, a woman. Didn't they say that Ray Chow was going to be joining the league as the Atom? Yeah, they did. I don't know what's happening with that. I think it's a silly move. I think Ray Chow would have been a good pick, but hey, shit happens, I guess. Hey, Canon Deus Ex. Hey, Andrew, will the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out in trade or hardcover, or have they already? I think Volume 1 and 2 of the new IDW series has come out, so go look for them. Pick them up. It's worth it. One of the best comics I've read in the past year or two. Nick Lenz asks, Andrew, I like your comic load videos. I have three questions from you. Where do you live? Have you seen the trailers for Iron Man 3? And what are your opinions of Defenders from Marvel Comics? One, where do I live? Massachusetts. I'll leave it at that. Two, have I seen the trailer for Iron Man? Yes, I have. I like the Iron Man movies. I'm not, however, as pumped for this movie as I was for the other ones. It's weird. Probably because although I like the movies, I'm not a big Iron Man fan. So it's kind of weird. I like the movies, but I'm not a big Iron Man fan. I'll probably still see it. Yeah. And what's your opinion of the Defenders from Marvel Comics? I always thought the Defenders was kind of not a team. Um, Never really cared for them. I always thought just seeing the Hulk on a team is kind of weird. But I'm thinking of the old Defenders. I never really read the comic, and I don't really care for it. Um, what is it? Doctor Strange, um, Thor's girlfriend, whatever her name is, Beast, uh, Hulk, and I forget the rest of the team. But again, the Defenders have probably changed. I'm thinking of the old Silver Age Defenders. Moving on. Fallout 3 Freak 1. Hey, Andrew, could you name all the new 52 comics that are coming out? The new DC. Could you name all of the new DC titles that are coming out? Do you mean that are coming out of the new wave? Because I don't think a new wave has been released. The only comics I know that are new coming out is Constantine. I have to think off the top of my head. I know I'm missing something. New Superman book. God, I can't think of anything else. Is there a new Batman book coming out? Yeah, I guess I can't. Sorry, Fallout Freak. Uh, Mert Osgurn, and if I mispronounce that, my bad. What's up, Andrew? I was just wondering, what do you think of the costume of the Robins in the New 52 and their costumes in the present? Which is basically, I like them all. I think they all take stuff from previous Robin costume and make them look good. Dick's is probably my favorites. It looks like Tim's costume from beforehand, only less of a tunic and more of a body armor. Whereas Jason's looks like Tim's costume and more of a tunic and a little bit more traditional than Tim's costume. And Tim's costume when he was Red Robin originally was just his 1 year later costume just without the underwear. And Damien's costume looks great. I love the new Robin costumes. I think they look good. The only thing about Dick's costume I don't like is I wish it was more of a belt, but I still like it. I still think it looks good. Also, what are your overall thoughts on Young Justice and its 2 seasons, and what would you have wanted to see if there was a season 3? Oh, and your thoughts on the Green Lantern animated series. Young Justice has really matured into a great DC Comics show. I really do enjoy it. I thought the first few episodes was a little rocky in season 1. Season 2 is starting to pick it up. What would I like to see from season 3? Shit, let's do it. Let's hit strong. Brainiac or Darkseid. You do the Reach. Once the Reach and Invasion is done, bring in Brainiac and Darkseid. That, or maybe a little bit more down to earth, not down to earth, but maybe a little less epic stories for the cast members. But I like the show, and I like that they're taking it in unique directions. So, yeah. Let me just make sure this is actually a question. No, this is a comment. Okay. New 52 fan gives me the pronunciation is Vindictavix. Also, what do you think of the new spin on how Superman's parents die? I don't mind it. I just rather his parents be alive. It's not a bad spin. It's definitely emotional, but it would have been Mom, Pa. I would love to have them around. Yeah, but that's just me. And hey, shit happens. So yeah, that was the comics from last week. If I missed your comic for whatever reason, comment, question. That is the questions from last week. If I missed your question for whatever reason, I'm sorry. Please ask it again. As for news and updates, not much in line of news on comic book end, other than obviously the death of Damien. Video game end, I've been playing a shitload of Fire Emblem, but I told you that last time. And just in general in life. Yeah, not much. Jax is going to be Jax, a not a video game, figure toy company, is going to be releasing a series of Nintendo-based figures. So if you're a toy collector, hey, there you go. But yeah, anything else? Nothing really. Do you like this new format? Do you like the questions and answers at the end of it? Let me know. If you do have a question, post it here in this video and I will answer it next week. And as always, I'm interested to hear your opinions on anything and everything. Please, by all means, comment, video respond, anything. Okay? I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.